It's cool, don't you know?
It's real.
There's more mode.
The following is a compilation of my favorite 3 to 8 minute conversations that we've had over the past 100 episodes of Music Matters. This one was really nostalgic for me to make because I realized just how much history is wrapped up into the past 3 years of our team going out into tons of different places and interviewing artists that have a variety of different stories and backgrounds. It was really crazy to watch how I've changed as a person and how the quality has changed from interview to interview. And I would say that if you want an introduction to what we stand for at Above the Bridge, this would be a really good starting place. I know other people have their own personal favorite conversations for whatever reason, but I think these are just the ones that connected with me the most personally. So yeah, without further ado, here are my personal favorite conversations from the last 3 years of Music Matters.
Superhero cut, Xanabis, the mic handler, the shadow with no source. So I grew up in San Francisco in the Tenderloin district. And when I was a kid, I'd play drums for the church and I would sing for the church. Eventually, look, dude, that's like the church. That's like God getting on me right now. God's like, you don't sing for the church no more. Nah, but I used to sing for the church and my balls dropped. So then I started playing drums for the church. And then after that point, I started asking a lot of questions about the church and stuff. But I held that musicality within me, and I've always had a fondness for all kinds of music. My top three, I'm going to give it to you right now. Kid Cudi, Daft Punk, and The Misfits. All right, so that's my top three.
The Misfits.
And number 4 is
Danzig guy.
Usher. And then number 5 is Avicii. Rest in peace. All right, but check this out, though.
That's a very, very
I love music, bro.
That's solid top 5.
Listen,
Hey.
I love music,
Sorry,
bro.
continue. I got hella control off of that.
So musicality was always fondness for me, bro. Growing up, dude, I was always kind of like a hot-headed kid in the terms of that. I'd always be very blunt and I'd say what was on my mind, and that made a lot of people intimidated by me and my stature. I grew up with no father figure in my life, so growing up, I had to really ask myself, what the fuck does it mean to be a man in this world? I had no clear answers. My mom was always there for me and stuff like that, but essentially, I get to a point in my life where I'm fucking down bad, dude, depressed, dude. Like I said earlier, living in a cycle of misery, right? Just doing the same shit every day, going to school, doing drugs after school, going back to school the next day. Just this endless cycle. A week before my 16th birthday, so I'm 15, right, at this time. A week before my 16th birthday, my homeboy tells me, hey, bro, I'm not going to be able to link with you for your birthday. Check this out, bottle of Hennessy, right? So I'm like, hey, man, right on, good looks, right? I downed that bitch that night. Why? Because I'm feeling like it. Because I have no reason for living. At this point, I'm dead. I'm damn near praying to die, bro. That's how I feel about my life. This shit sucks, bro. There ain't no fucking reason for me to be here. There ain't no reason for anyone to do shit. This shit sucks. That's where my mind state was at. And I downed that bottle. Next day comes up, right? My bro is asking me, he's like, bro, you trying to take some Xanax bars, bro? And so I'm like, yo, fuck it. First time for everything, bro. So I take hella Xans, bro, to the point where I don't even remember it. And everything that I'm about to tell you right now is a collection of what other people say they saw and what actually happened, right? Amongst the doctors and my principal and all that kind of stuff. And they basically said, bro, you were just walking down the hallway all normal and you just collapsed, bro. Just fall on the floor. And I hit the floor on my fucking face or some shit like that, knocked out completely, bro. And then I woke up in the ICU and I'm feeling like The Walking Dead. I'm feeling like that first episode of The Walking Dead. I'm like, yo, where the fuck am I, bro? Ain't nobody in there. I don't even know, bro. Rick. Feeling like that nigga Rick, right? And so I got these IVs in my wrists and shit, or in my arms and my veins. And then I'm just freaking out, bro. I'm like, yo, where's my mom, bro? She's probably tripping right now, dude, And all I seen was black, bro. Keep it a buck with you. I didn't see shit, you know what I'm saying? And I tried to get off the ICU, and I got yanked back, bro. There was a fucking tube in my Slim Jim, bro. There was a tube there where I peed from, bro. And I was so upset. I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get out of here, bro? And then the doctors came in. They're like, dude, stop. How the fuck are you here right now, bro? Just looking at me like I was dead a few minutes ago, bro. And at that point, I was just honestly shocked, bro. I was terrified.
Wait. So they thought you were gone?
No, I was gone. My heart fucking flatlined, bro. So it was already good. It was my mom's crying on the outside praying, bro. Praying with the whole pastor, the whole church came in.
You ever see those movies where it go do, and they go,
That's what it was, bro. And the
Literally.
church was literally outside, bro, just praying for me, bro, praying for my soul and all that shit, bro. Cause I haven't even turned 16 yet, bro. So I'm 15, bro. Like that could have been the end of my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I'm here now, bro, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? I count my gratitudes every day because of that shit. But ever since that day, I understood, okay, I'm here for some fucking reason. It's up to me to figure out what the fuck that reason is. I ain't going out no bitch, bro. I ain't going out on some stupid shit like that. You feel me? So my name is Xanabis. A lot of people think it's like, oh, it's Xanax and cannabis. How clever, ha ha ha. But the real reason is because I got Egyptian heritage, and so Anubis is the god of the afterlife and embalmment. Xans were the thing that put me in the afterlife. So you get the thing that put me in the afterlife, and you get the thing that is the god of the afterlife, and you get Xanubis, right? So I'm trying to embalm myself here on this earth with my music and my presence. Embalmment is the art of mummification. So I'm trying to preserve my life here, my soul here, through my music and my words and whatever it is I do. You feel me? So a lot of people, they laugh my name off. They're like, Xanax and cannabis, but it's deeper to me. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, bro, because I would not be here without that story. I would not be here without my heart stopping, bro. I'm like Danny Phantom, bro. It's my secret. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody knows, bro. Niggas look at me, they see, oh, star tattoo, red hair, just another fucking generic rapper from the modern day age. You know, but that's fine, bro, because you go ahead and look at me how you look at me, bro, but I know who the fuck I am, bro, and I know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's why I like with stuff like with Golden Boy. That was a perfect example. The kid came to my studio. He was grinding, working hard, asking me, hey, I mean, I'm trying to learn this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, is it cool if I stay at next session and just watch? Well, let me ask my client. Okay, cool. You can sit there and watch. For a year, letting him do that. And just grinding and watching me. The kid knows what I know. You know what I mean? Like, he can engineer his ass off. Don't let him lie to you if he ever asks. Because he could. But I'm saying, like, my team has to be as strong as me or better. I don't want to be the best. You understand? Like, B works with me. I want her better. Gabe is our intern, Golden Boy. I want him to be better. Because when you build something, you don't... If you're not trying to have others around you grow, either on the same side by side or better, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't want to be the best out of my squad. If I'm the best out of my squad, I'm not doing my job. You understand? Like that's why I let these kids learn off me. Learn, like, get it right. Yeah, no, do it like this. Do it like this. Like Golden Boy really grinded that enough that he would wait 6-7 hours in the studio.
Wow.
And then I'd be like, hey, bro, I got an hour left. You want to record? And still record and then kill it. That's how we did 808 Rockstars. He waited hours and then we cooked. And we constantly still do that. He's going to come today and do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I give him a chance. I co-sign him. You know what I mean? Like, people always ask, why is he not signed? I'm like, he doesn't need to. You know what I mean? Like, he already has me, got his back. You know what I mean? Like, he's a part of me regardless of anything. You feel? Like, anybody that I work with. You know what I mean? To my artists, to the, like, there's a lot of people I can sit here and talk about all day. They know who they are. The world gonna know who they are because I'm gonna make sure. You know what I mean? And it's like, I always feel like it's me against the world when it's against a label. Because I always hear that I have kids come through my studio and tell me about their deals. Like you were saying, they get shit deals. And it's like I have
try to come swoop up your artist real quick for a lot more than you will.
Yeah, and the thing about it is too, what they do offer does seem like a lot that I can offer, right? But in reality, it's wrong because $10,000, $20,000 ain't shit. A lot of these labels are giving 10, 20,000, maybe 30 if you're lucky. Oh, and you sign. Okay, but you still got to pay for studio time.
I was going to say 15 of that goes to studio time.
Yeah. You still got to pay for mixing, mastering. Oh, now you need photos. You need videos. Like, bro, like, you're going to be broke. And especially, you're not going to spend none of that money that you just got. A lot of these artists are not going to spend that money on none of that. Yeah, they're going to buy either some gold teeth and some chains. They're going to try to look the part, going to buy some, like, Balenciagas. They're going to try to look cool. You know what I mean? Whatever's trendy at the time, they try to buy it. Because you have to, in the industry, fake it till you make it. You have to look the part. So a lot of times these kids don't know how to manage the money they get from the label. Then they're in a hole. I tell you all the time, you want a record deal? Go get a credit card. That's your record deal.
Yeah.
Got to pay it back anyway. And it's going to come with some interest. That's all labels do.
That's a funny way to look at it, yeah.
It's a funny way to look at it. But
yeah.
I tell people, you know what's funny too about labels? They took out development. Development for an artist is very important. You want to develop your artist, you have to make them ready for the industry. Industry doesn't want, they took it out because they want you ready already. They want you already ready with fans, everything right now. That's why these kids are struggling. They're throwing out hundreds of songs because one of them's going to hit. I know, but that's all it does take is one song. But there's no, someone like Kendrick made it to that position, right? Was blessed. I love Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm very top 5, Cole, Kendrick, Kanye, all that. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. Timbaland was a great producer, and Pharrell for me. I fell in love with these guys. This is why I'm like how I am. But like, a lot of times it's like the development is very important, and you don't do that for an artist. That's why a lot of artists go on. They're here now, going tomorrow. They're not, because they get there and they get mentally beat up for a year. Oh yeah, mother. Like, basically, music for me in that sense is like very important. That's why I have these kids come and develop them. Artists and clients that walk in my booth, nope, do it again, do it again, do it again. Because none of these studios are telling people to do shit again when they fuck up. Like, fuck that. Have a relationship. That's why a lot of times if you see like Wiz or you see anyone, there's that one person that's always with them that no one knows. It's the engineers.
Yeah.
Because those are people they trust. A lot of these people, there's a lot of me's out there. You just have to find them. You feel what I'm saying?
16, I came home from like smoking hella weed. I hid my backpack in like my hiding spot, slept on the downstairs couch just so I could see it, like if it moved. I had woken up and my mom was like, your dad's fucking pissed at you. And I looked outside through the window and
He's smoking your weed now, imagine.
He was already kind of like questioning if I had smoked because I'd come home like hella
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't talk to them or nothing. I'd just go straight to my room. And when I seen the window, out through the window, you could see the little hiding spot and it was gone. And then she was like, he took everything. It was like my whole dank bag, and he took everything. And she was like, he took everything. He smashed your pipe. He took all this and that. He found all your little wrappers and all this stuff. And I go upstairs, and we're moving at the time, or we're moving stuff around. So he's like, take this box upstairs. She didn't mention nothing to me, right? And I go and look in his closet. My bag's there. They leave, and then I go in my room, and there's a whole bag. My bag's there, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I open my bag. There's a fucking ounce in there. Not saying he gave it to me, but in quotations. That day, I was like, fuck, I respect my father because he could have done anything else, you know? He could have whooped my ass if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But, you know, from that moment, I felt like he seen me as, like, him.
Like
know?
a man.
Yeah. You know, you see your kid, he's you in a different form, you know? So from that moment, I was like, fuck. Is this real life right now? I was like, am I dreaming? Did my dad just do this? And I was just like, holy shit. Called all my friends. I was like, bro, my fucking dad just gave me all this weed, all this and that. And I was just like, I was very happy. And then from that moment, I started respecting my parents more. I started understanding that they understood what I was going through. I was just being a kid and, you know,
Yeah.
fuck it. If
Your mom punked you. She made it seem like he was hella mad.
Yeah. And that shit, I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, for a while, it was just like I was grinding and I had blind faith that it was going to pay off or that, you know, I would come across the right thing or the right opportunity or the right people.
And you were right.
And I was right. And I'm glad I took that bet on myself. But, like, bro, it was really hard, like, being broke, like, not having money. And then, like, I was, like, slaving it, like, with my last, like, $5, like, taking a bus to 30 or 45 minutes away to go intern for 6 hours and then come back, and I didn't make any money that whole 6 hours, and I'm getting, you know, my girl at the time to come pick me up and all this shit, like, from this internship. And it was just like, it was just a lot. It was a lot. And it was a lot being firm in something that pretty much everyone else in my life, like, didn't believe in or, like, didn't think was going to happen. So I'm grateful for the few of my friends that did believe in me, because now we rocking and we going crazy, and it's just, like, about to be to a whole other level. That's my boy Kobe right there. Shout out my boy Kobe again.
Shout out Kobe.
I just want to say, like, you see how he smiles, bro. Like, you see the way he smiles after everything he's fucking been through,
It's
bro.
like a
That's
genuine-
all of us,
it's like
bro.
real pure
You
genuine,
feel
bro.
me? Like,
Yeah.
we smile through that shit, bro, because shit sucks, bro. Life hurts. You feel me? But it's like,
Hey, tell them about the quote you got from that book. You was like being in love with misery and like being.
so there's a book called The War of Art, not The Art of War, not to be confused with that book, but The War of Art. And if anybody is an entrepreneur or starting a business or trying to get into some sort of craft that's bigger than themselves, read this book. I forgot the author, but the quote is that if you are an artist or trying to venture into a new uncharted territory in terms of business and growth, you have to fall in love with misery. In the sense
oh
that
my God, yes.
in the sense that you have to fall in love with staying up late nights, getting your
Fuck,
work
yes.
done. You have to fall in love with maybe missing a few meals or eating cold meals or just going with the
'Cause
bare
it- 'cause
minimum
you're
to
not
get to
getting
where you're trying to
comfortable.
get to.
You're not getting comfortable.
You cannot
Yeah.
get comfortable. The moment you get comfortable and you feel like, oh, I can relax a little
Like, well,
bit,
take your
you're
break.
not putting enough pressure in, because that pressure is what's gonna get
What
you
you lack,
to
somebody
where
will
you're trying to
have,
get
bro.
to.
Straight up.
So it's like you really just have to keep going and be hungry. You know, the problem is motherfuckers will win and they'll be like, oh yeah, we had that big achievement, and now they're not hungry no more.
Now
You
what's
know what I'm
next?
saying?
Yeah.
For us, it's like we're always hungry, bro. After every show, it's like, what's the next
always
show?
what's
next
After
show,
every
for
video,
sure.
all right, what's the next video?
What's the
After
next
every
concept,
event, it's
too?
like, what's the next idea? You know
Well,
what I'm
because you
saying?
guys have been in places where you haven't had another thing to do.
We're always
Yeah.
hungry, you know. Just like you say, you're a workaholic. That's us, you know. That's why.
Yeah.
Can I add something? I remember you like a couple months ago. You were talking about like with your origin and shit, and you was like, I wanted to die, and I was drinking and stuff like that.
Hell yeah, bro.
Like,
It was miserable.
One thing I want to say to like the people out there, bro, like the main shit why we do this too is like for people mental health. Like
Yeah.
it's like my boy Tay, right? He not here with us today due to certain mental health challenges. You feel me? Where long story short, he jumped off the bridge. You feel me? Suicide, and not to be killed of mood or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Condolences to my bro. He's smiling down.
Sorry
at
for
us.
your loss.
Yeah, but he laughing at us like, yeah, we doing this shit, bro. You feel
Yeah.
me? Before he did what he did, he told us like, bro, I got you, bro. We got this. I swear to God. So it's like, to add on that is just like basically like make sure your mental health is like, it's not that deep. You feel me? Don't. You can, your imagination is so strong, bro. The power and the affinity in your head is so strong. You can make this little ass problem into a big ass problem. Like I'm gonna give you an example. I was yesterday. I look at my bank account. The fucking membership took hella money off my shit. So now I'm looking at it, a little problem. Bro, I want to go buy gas. Why the fuck I go in the car and drive off and didn't pump my gas? Like I just, I swear to God, I said, what the fuck? I'm like, oh my God, I'm too much in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't be in your head, bro.
Yeah.
And but I also think we're in this kind of weird place post-COVID America where, like, my mom said this to me. She was like, a lot of your friends have multiple jobs. You know what I mean? And I think, like, you know, she was just like, it's never been harder to be a young person in this world. Like, rent is, you know, especially, you know, San Francisco, Bay Area, but like anywhere, rent is rising. Minimum wage is not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, that's really, like, rent is rising, minimum wage is not. Expenses are rising, minimum wage is not. And, like, wages, period. Like, minimum wage is not rising, but also, like, starting salaries are not really rising.
Yeah,
you need
exactly.
more and more degrees to have whatever, like, to have an entry-level internship, you need to have internship experience. That, like, in itself makes kind of no sense.
It's a paradox. It makes absolutely no sense.
And because of that, I would say it also is easier to pursue being an independent artist because it's like, I feel as though my whole generation is in the same kind of lost boat. And during COVID, honestly, I felt really blessed to have something to work towards because a lot of people were just in their homes because it's like their career was just shut down.
Going to work. Yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't go to work.
I fully agree. Like,
You know.
so much of what, like, Above the Bridge is now was built during COVID. Like the infrastructure to allow me to go and interview people, that was all built during COVID. Like during COVID, I just sat in my room for hours and figured out what cameras I want to buy, how to use cameras, how to use interfaces. I figured out how to like, just stuff like that. Like I just figured it out, you know. And it's like that's funny that your mom brought that up to you, because I was just having a similar conversation with my mother the other day, and what she was saying was that she was like, yeah, when I was 18. I just moved out, and she was like, all my friends just moved out. We just went and got apartments because we worked minimum wage jobs 4 days a week and we could afford it. And I was telling her, I'm like, Mom, I damn near work like full time now as a server and make decent money, and like I can't even dream of that in California in the Bay Area. Like it's not even a thought.
No.
You know.
I'm gonna give a little backstory. My dad jumped in the fire to save me in this house.
Whoa.
This room was on fire back in the day, 2008. I lived in the room down the hall, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was my bedtime, and I just couldn't sleep. I was restless. I was like sweating, and I was like, I'm going to go upstairs and get a snack. My dad said, be in bed by 10. I'm going to be outside. He was outside, you know, with his homies. And I go upstairs, and I'm looking for a snack. And I see my uncle playing Crash and Kazooie, fucking playing Ratchet. And I'm like, I'm trying to play with my uncle. Like, you know, I can't sleep. So I go play with my uncle. All you hear is boom. And hella fire came from the fucking windows. The whole house shook. And fucking all the glass in the whole house just shattered. Like it was a shockwave. Then the fire started in the garage, and it was a gas leak, and
so the gas tank just exploded in your house.
Everything. Wow. And then the whole downstairs, this whole first story of the house was on fire, and that was my room next to the garage. So my dad, he's outside. I'm upstairs, by the way. I'm upstairs. This happens. I'm hella young. I'm in my underwear. My uncle just picks me up and says, "We're going to my grandma's room. We're gonna go out the back and we're going to the side. We're in survival mode, right?" My dad, he thinks I'm downstairs in bed where I'm supposed to be. And by the time we got outside, he already went in and jumped in the fire for me and was looking for me. And by the time I got outside, they were pulling him from the garage, and he was steaming and bright red all over his arms and his back, and he fucking almost got burned alive.
Oh my God. That's insane.
So my dad.
That reminds me of the scene from The Outsiders.
My dad, my dad don't like to be on camera, man. You know, but
he doesn't have to be on camera. Yeah, Jesus, his story speaks for itself. Jesus Christ.
You feel me? Like I'm loaded with stories, man. Like how you told me earlier, like has anyone ever bipped your car or some shit like that?
Yeah.
I'm loaded with stories. I just try to tell the positive ones. And bring.
Do you want to tell the one that
the least positive ones, you know, in times like this?
Yeah. Do you want to tell the one that tell me? Do you want to tell the one that you told me when I asked you that question?
Yeah. All right. Well, so after
if you don't want to, you don't have to.
After that whole situation went down, I mean, this is a real thing.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of value.
Real life.
Yeah.
This is rap shit. This is real life shit, bro. You feel me? It doesn't matter. I'm from San Francisco, California. I go by the name of Lucky Lucci. You feel me? This can happen to anybody, you know, it's regular city shit. So obviously the shit happened in my house, so we had to relocate while the house was getting rebuilt, right? So we relocated, we moved down to Bayview over by City College and Ocean Avenue and, you know, more over there. And, you know, we're living in a spot for, you know, a cool amount of time. It was really nice, you know, they moved us in a cool little house, you know, and this house was getting remodeled and my dad was in the hospital. You know, he's like, just, you know, got the bandages on his arms and wearing compression gloves, and he's like looking like Freddy Krueger and shit, you know. But once he got better again, you know, we're just being in the house, and he was planning on rebuilding this house, and we're gonna move here. But while we were there, you know, someone fucking ran up in our house in the middle of the night. Fucking, my dad was gone. It was just me and my grandma, and my great grandma,
smiling at me.
And I'm not even sure what happened. I was so fucking young. I was like 9, 10 years old, right? There's a side door, you know. That's why they say back door. if there's ever a side door or a back door, you gotta have that shit locked down, bro. You feel me? No one's gonna just bust in through the front door of your house.
And take this as a word of advice. I mean, it can happen to anybody.
They will bust in through the side door. They bust in through the side door. All you see is 6 niggas masked up. Masked up. They go in. They said, where's such and such room? I'm not gonna disclose names. Where's such and such room? Right? We're looking for some shit, right? And I'm the only one there. So they grab me up. They're like, where's the shit? Where's the shit at? Pulling me up. Where's the shit? You feel me? And I stitch lit, bro. As a kid, stitch lit. Not even saying shit. I'm like, I don't even think I said anything. I was just like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you're 8. You don't know anything. You're 8.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think they just shoved me off to the side. And they're like, fuck it, we're just going to run through the rooms. Run through the rooms. So I go and I run in my grandma's room, and she's already on the phone with the police and shit. And then we waited, and they left, and the fucking police came. And I'll never forget, my fucking dad shows up at the front door, and it's like raining. It looks like Gotham City. It's like raining, and he's just standing there looking hella fucking mad, just like. And he's like, just getting rained on, but didn't give a fuck because someone just ran up in our house after that whole shit happened. You feel me? And after that, we rebuilt this house, moved back over here, and never looked back since. I'm not sure what happened. Sometimes it's planned, sometimes it's not. Maybe they just knew they were watching. They were watching. They knew that my dad is a big motherfucker. His boys. But all of a sudden, everyone's gone. Oh, there's only a grandma and a kid in the house.
Yeah.
We can just bust in.
Being at a point where a lot of things in your life are changing and you feel like you're going through a very significant period of growth, but people still, because I don't know, people have this habit of wanting you to always be the person that you've always been. And they don't really want to see you change and grow because a lot of people are really afraid of that. And I was feeling a lot of that in my life. Like people always wanted to see me as like the person that I had been and was like growing up. And I didn't want that. And it was really difficult to have to like, break off some of those friendships and be like, you know what, it's better for me to just like grow and move on and like learn from this experience. But also I was like pretty bummed about it because a lot of these people I've known for a long time, and like you don't want to be the asshole that like cuts people off. But if people are holding you back from like being yourself and doing what you want to do, like that for me is the heart of the song. It's like people wanting to box you in and like wanting to pigeonhole you and let you be this one thing, when it's like, no, like grow, like do what you want to do, and don't let the people in your life hold you back because of that.
That's real. And it's hard to balance that world of, it's really easy to get guilty when you feel like you're progressing and people, not that they don't want you to progress, but that they want you to be the same person you are when you're growing. And it would be very disingenuous to remain the same person your entire life just because other people want you to be that.
100%, dude. It's unfair to yourself to do that because people want you to.
Yeah, it's very unfair, and it's like I said, like it's hard to cut those people off. Sometimes they're very personal to you. Sometimes they're very like real and long-lasting relationships, but you just have to put yourself first. That was something that was really hard for me to learn, to put myself first, because I tend to prioritize other people's feelings more than my own, and it's a hard thing to learn. But the quicker you can learn to put yourself first, the more you'll grow as a person.
Dude, I completely agree with you. It's definitely not an easy thing to do, but putting yourself and what you need to do for your life is like the most important thing. And obviously, like, don't be a dick about it, and like show love to the people that have shown love to you. But like, dude, it's your life. You have one thing to do, and that's like be yourself. And if anybody's trying to hold you back from that, then like, fuck that. No way.
They also probably don't have your best interests at heart if they're trying to hold you back from that.
a lot of the time it's just selfish, right? Like they just start doing it because they are either like jealous of watching you grow and succeed, or they just don't want things to change and they want you to like continue to be that, to continue to play that role in your life that you've, or that role in their life that you've always played.
Yeah.
But basically, going into 2021, I was like, I still whatever, but I was focused on people to people relationships in a post COVID world, and that was my goal. I wanted to focus on live shows so I could look the people who I was trying to get my music in their ears, in their eyes. I was focused on reaching out via DM to artists I fucked with or people who were like responding in comments to my content, things like that. Face to face, eye to eye, human to human, soul to soul, because I was so fed up with like what's real, what's fake, all this stuff of like I was having success, and I know some of that success was real, but then I was like I don't know, and now I see the hard work of that face to face of like throwing shows, and then I had this record, and the last record had gotten taken down because of fake streams, and I had this new record. Family First 2. I thought it was so special. I thought it was so dope. I was so proud of it. And I was like, I want to do what I did last time. I want to put money into something to get people to listen to it. Mm-hmm. But instead of doing streaming, I booked myself 9 shows. Myself and my band.
Jesus Christ.
And one of them was the show I was throwing, Family First Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It was the final Friday of August. And I threw it with a bunch of my homies that I was mentioning before, DJ Say, Baghead, De La City, Audio Vandals, Sauce Fam Collective, all these different people. And like I said, I promoted it. I went to all my other shows that I was doing and I promoted that show. I did the free Hennessy shot thing. I had dope other artists. I was like, hey, could you promote it? Whoop-de, whoop-de, whoop. It was at a space, a community space. So the stakes were kind of a little lower.
Yeah.
And I packed the thing out. And, I didn't realize, but it's like, that is how I would say to start. Is like, start with like, if you know any art galleries, community spaces, places that aren't bars, that don't generate income off of events necessarily, but they generate income off of other things.
That's a fascinating way to look at it.
A clothing store, whatever, where it's like, hopefully people buy stuff, but in general, like people coming in does not mean like it's an open space. You're not required to buy anything to be in there and whatever. And
it's
also,
like their profit isn't based on what you bring.
Right. Yes. Pretty much. And then from there move forward. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm still on that wave, and I don't think it'll ever stop. Of like, in person, what can I do? Because
totally,
as much as like saying that, one of my songs has like 2 million streams on Apple Music, and honestly, I've never really done any Apple Music promotion. There's a bunch of algorithms that I got on that's really cool, but I don't know. One, I don't really know how I did that. And 2, like, I know that the song is good, and people tell me the song is good. But to me, what's way doper, and also business-wise, what's way cooler is I can be like, on a Wednesday night, I brought out 300 people to watch me perform at $22 a person. Yeah. Because those are dollar signs from the business BS capitalism standpoint, and real figures that like I cannot dispute, right? Yeah. Beating hearts in the audience.
You could be miserable chasing your dream, but at least you're waking up for something.
And like you just said, like it's almost like we're being sold it. Like we actually are being sold it. Like corporations used to put money into like selling the American dream to people, and like that shit stuck, and that's why it's still around today, basically. But like that's actually because they need people to actually fulfill those jobs that are just kind of cogs in the system, right? So they literally like would put money into like promoting the idea of like the American dream, working 9 to 5 and shit like that. So.
What's crazy too, though, is like there's people who are listening to this conversation, and people who listen to people have conversations about this all the time, and they think people who want to chase their dreams are selfish, or they think that people who want to chase their dreams are like self-absorbed, or like
but it's like that's the corporations actually. Like the corporations are selfish. They literally like just go after profit strictly, like don't give a fuck about anything else. They'll give up lives, they'll give whatever they want, so.
And like I feel like, okay, so like when I say chase your dreams, I just want to like clarify, like I'm not saying that like if your dream is to be a lawyer, go to school to be a lawyer, but it's like if your dream is to make art, go make art.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not everyone's dream is the same. Not everyone wants to be an artist, like, so if you feel like you're calling, like lots of people would love to be doctors. Lots of people would love to be lawyers. Like lots of people would love to just chill out, be a barista. They love coffee, right? So they would just want to make coffee all day and just chill, basically, like that. If you want to do that, go for it. You know, like you don't have to be locked into any one thing. That, especially not like, I don't know. People just limit themselves based on what other people tell them they could do.
Exactly. I've always said, like, I've said this since I was a kid. Like, I've said this before, like, Above the Bridge was a thing, or before I knew what I really wanted to do with my life. I've said, like, I'd rather be homeless and chasing something that I care about than rich and doing something that I don't think matters.
Mm-hmm.
There's a, have you ever seen the movie Whiplash?
I have not, actually.
It's about a jazz drummer, but there's, like, a quote, and it's one of my favorite quotes ever. It's, like, this jazz drummer, he's going to school, and he's sitting down at, like, at a family dinner, or, like, his family, and his uncles are there, and like one of his cousins comes, and then his dad's talking about his cousin who plays like D3 football at like some school, and they're talking, and then the cousin's just like, he kind of looks at the Andrew, who was the drummer. His name's Andrew, and he was all like, "Oh, like, how's that jazz thing working out? Like, is there any money in that?" And then he just kind of looks at him, and he's like, "You're playing D3 football." But like, why is that deemed more important than being a jazz drummer?
Yeah.
And then like they end up getting into this argument, and he says this quote. I love it. It's like, I'd rather, because I think they started talking about Miles Davis, I think, and Miles Davis died like super fucked up when he was like 50 or 60 or something. He wasn't very old, I believe. I hope I'm getting the right musician. I think it might have been Charlie Parker, but it was some great jazz musician that they were talking about. And the dad was all like, Andrew was, I'm terrible at telling stories, I'm sorry. And Andrew was all like, I want to be like the next Charlie Parker. And then his dad was like, Charlie Parker died drunk, dead, and unhappy at 50 years old. And then Andrew goes, and this is like one of my favorite quotes. He goes, "I'd rather die drunk, unhappy, and have people at a dinner table talk about me 25 years after I die, then die rich, happy, and nobody remember who I was."
Yeah, to be honest.
And I think about that like all the time.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, to me, the only thing more valuable in this world than money is time, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Everyone, like, and if you're not getting your priorities straight like that, I feel like, you gotta straighten your priorities out. Like, shit, like, I don't know. I just don't know how you could really be okay with doing something that makes you unhappy all the time, and saying like, "Oh, I make X amount of money, so it's worth it." Like, fuck no, bro. What are you gonna do with that money?
For what? Yeah.
Be happy? No.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think the idea that money brings happiness is so like beyond me. But I also think like there is. I remember when I was in high school, somebody did like a report on this, and it was super interesting. And it was like an inquiry report. I don't know if you ever did those, but it was like pretty much like you have to like ask a question and then do like a whole like research paper on it. But like this kid's I think it was Lucas. Shout out Lucas. But his question was like, does money bring happiness? And then the answer from all these books that he read, the answer he came to was like, money brings happiness up to a certain point.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're making enough to like survive and eat and have like basic goods, that is like as happy as money can make you.
Exactly.
Anything past that point is like extra, and it's not, the money isn't going to bring you happiness past that point.
Yeah, so being self-sustaining is definitely like,
yeah,
you need to get to that point, and that's where it's like, you do have to work a 9 to 5 sometimes, so you do have to work like shitty jobs and shit to sustain yourself. But like any job to me that's not doing what I really want to do is a shitty job.
Yeah, I agree.
I would rather work like low pay shitty job and work on what I want to do on the side and try to get that going than like commit my all into like a shitty job that has no like future in happiness for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Me and Hub came from like the treacherous parts of Philly. Feel me?
Yeah.
Like where it's like sometimes we be having conversations with each other. We be like, how the hell we here in California alive? Like, so then that's the light side of it. You feel me? But in order to appreciate the light side of things, you gotta go through your dark side. You feel me? You gotta go through your dark pain. Like, you feel me? You may lose somebody. You may be in a certain way where it feel like the world is on the edge of ending. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally dealt with death like numerous of times. You know what I'm saying? But the light side of that, it gave me armor to prepare for the next day. You know what I'm saying? what you go through is gonna make you for the next day. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make up for your tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? By living through your today.
Well, you can't really appreciate the good parts of life if there aren't bad parts, because you need that perspective. You know, you need to like.
Because then you'll be cocky, or you'll just be like entitled, too much entitled.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like everything is your way. You know what I'm saying? So like basically, what I'm saying is like, even like when we come from like the churches and stuff like that environment, right? That's a lot of crime, poverty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that's trying to get it because it's hunger. You know what I'm saying? When you're hungry, there's no excuses, and like it's really hard because it's like people outside of churches would think like inside it's like they just gotta get their job, they just gotta get their life together, and it's like that. But it's like no, it's environmental ties that we're born into. You feel me? When we born into these environmental ties, it put a lot of pressure on us. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
About me laying my head and on 20th Street. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's not from 20th Street or cannot, you feel me, like me, or because I hang with this bro, cannot like me. You feel me? Or you can just by hanging with a pack of friends, you can get into something, and that can lead into something. That's why a lot of our environments, it's like how it is now. Because when niggas get older, it's not fists no more, it's guns. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more of just showing like the world like it's beauty through dark and light. You feel me? And it's like past like the choice that God gave me is a choice to just show people like you could come from somewhere and then be something like that. Like that's why like Jay-Z is it's important. You feel me? Like because he had to deal with like the pressure at that time of accepting changing a certain way of a lifestyle from coming from Mercy on projects in New York to being a billionaire. That's kind of big.
He's seen both ends of it. He's seen the worst and he's seen the best.
Like I ain't no billionaire. That's big. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like I ain't never met no billionaire from the projects.
Yeah.
That's really big. So when you come from the dark projects of poverty and then you go to the top, you see the balance of things. Now you're more humble. You're more like focused on what's really the top tier. You're not greedy. You know what I'm saying? If you come from like the high richness, you may be greedy enough to think that certain things come a certain way because you're big headed. You know what I'm saying? You got your shit you got your way every time, so it make you big headed. Because it make you big headed, you're not. You know what I'm saying? And that's like for example, no disrespect, but a Trump. You feel me? He's hella big headed because he feel like everyone should do it that way because he made it.
Handed everything.
Exactly.
So, 4 or 5 people just pulled up. We don't really know what's happening. This is what happens when you shoot an interview on top of a car. Outside, but we had to do it in the spot. This is working out. She's back in her Tesla in. She's a beautiful San Francisco woman. Shout out her.
Man, I appreciate y'all doing this for me, man. I appreciate y'all.
Bro, we got you, of course, man. That's so funny.
This is hilarious.
She said she recognized you?
We know her, man. I'm not gonna lie. She gave us a book.
No way, that's so fire.
She gave us this,
You guys be smoking in your LM, she knows you. That's hilarious, man.
It's all love.
Part with you, so when you get done, I want you to email me this recording. Yeah, I'll give you my phone. And I want to.
Do you have an Instagram?
My gallery does. But
Oh, you should follow this. This is it. Look up above the bridge _
I don't do Instagram.
Oh, that's okay. Or we have a website, AboveTheBridgeMusic.com.
Cool. It's a Dolby Chat gallery. So, anyway, I'll see you. Good luck.
Thank you.
You guys have a
Musicians, stop support them.
Oh, musicians.
Yeah.
Great. You?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you play?
I am a beat maker. I make beats on my computer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Not sure I know what that means. That's good. When will it show and where will it show?
The music or the interview?
The interview.
Oh, so it's just like we put it on YouTube and everything, but we're blurring all the backgrounds and stuff, so it's just our faces in it. Because we wouldn't want to intrude or get anybody's houses in it.
Great. Well, good luck with it.
Thank you so
Of course.
much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Yeah,
See
you
you.
guys have a great night, alright?
Thank God.
Alright, now, alright, let's get back to it. What?
This is a whole new level of game I haven't even tapped into yet.
Yeah.
But this is going to be like, it might change some people's perspective. Let's say the highest one I've seen so far is Denmark. Denmark pays about 0.007.
Oh.
So
that's like a cent per like every 2 streams.
Every one stream.
Every one stream pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so then like if you market your song to Denmark, let's say you get hit 40,000 streams in America, 0.0039, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's about $150 maybe, right? And then if you pitch it to France at 0.005 for 40,000 streams, and you get 40,000 streams just from France, that's like $200. That's a $50 difference on 0.002 cents of a difference. So imagine if you pinpoint places and countries to market your music and get into playlist companies over there. Imagine like it's a whole different money game.
And that begs the question. I wonder in Denmark how different that 2 million monthly listeners number is.
That is true.
I wonder what you have to average monthly in Denmark to make a living off your streams.
Right. It might be like less than $1 million.
Wow, that's such a big difference.
I
feel like I'm missing details here though. So why? So Spotify pays differently per stream depending on your region?
Yeah.
Why?
I figured that out.
Why?
I don't know. I just figured that out literally like 2 days ago.
Is it the value of like the dollar?
It might be. I don't know. Maybe it's like the way their economy or some shit like that. I don't know. Like I just started noticing it. Yeah.
That's really weird.
I was like, I could send a picture. I'll send a picture
send
to
it.
you.
We'll put it on the screen.
And then you guys can show the 2 highlights of it. And like it's really crazy to think about that.
That's absolutely bizarre.
So the bad thing is, right? Well, it's not bad. I do music for me, but we're talking numbers right now. Just to talk about numbers.
Yeah.
But I've been marketing to the Philippines a lot. Like I've been
Makes sense, yeah.
Filipino companies that do like playlists and shit, and been pitching my music to them. And the Philippines pays 0.0004 cents per stream.
So that's like significantly less than even America, right? No, that's more.
That's less.
Oh, what did you say America pays?
0.0039.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They pay 0.00004.
That's
so if you
terrible.
make 40,000 streams in America, that's about $150.
Mm-hmm.
If you make 40,000 streams in the Philippines, that's about $1.40 or some shit. It's crazy. My math this whole time might be off, but these are averaging like around that.
What?
Yes, bro. It's crazy as hell.
Why though? Like I don't know. Why is that? Like that?
I might be talking a bunch of bullshit and I'm just not understanding numbers, but to my logical mind and how I saw those numbers, that's how.
That's so weird.
Yes, bro. It's crazy.
But I'd be interested in this. What does Sweden pay? Because Spotify's a Swedish company.
You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, pull it up.
I can pull it up.
Because that imagine how fucked up that would be if like Sweden pays like a significantly higher like amount.
Yeah, that'd be crazy as hell.
Because it's a Swedish company.
Yeah. Okay. If I go to my bank, right?
I mean that would make sense, right? That would make sense, like for them to market their company towards Sweden more. Wait, yeah. Would it?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Just because you're a house, a home thing doesn't mean that you're gonna make the most money.
Yeah.
So look here, I can show you right here. The U.S. one stream in China. You see that 0.007. That's actually pretty high for China. But the U.S. Let me find one stream. One stream from
what's the $1
India? From India is 0.00005.
Holy shit!
Isn't that crazy?
Now find Sweden.
Oh yeah, let me find. I don't know. Is SW, huh?
SW. I think it's SW.
So the only thing is we're relying that Sweden hopefully listens to my music.
So there's gonna be one person in Sweden listening to have.
Oh God! See here in France. Oh shit! Never mind. Netherlands is high, man.
Scandinavian countries got everything right.
0.01.
Whoa! So that's like a cent every 2 streams.
Yeah.
0.01. Yeah.
So if I had 40,000 streams, 0.015. Oh, just $600 compared to the 150.
In France, you said?
In
Sweden.
New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand.
NL.
Yeah.
That's gotta be New Zealand, right? NL, right?
NL or Netherlands.
Yeah. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was just cutting out the numbers just out of curiosity, but that's crazy, right?
I'm fascinated that it's different.
Me too.
This is so
it's
interesting
like a different
to me.
money game, you know?
Yeah,
what I'm
this
saying?
is so interesting to me.
So Dante's first fucking show got shut down because the power went out in San Francisco.
Well, I was there.
You were there. You were there for that one, but
I was there for the darkness. I just sat in the dark.
Dude,
I was
it
like,
was
"Who the
Gotham-
fuck is that guy on the
Gotham City.
stage? Get them the fuck off the stage."
I didn't sit in the dark.
Have you talked about that in an interview? What happened at your first Above the Bridge show? Have you talked about that yet?
Yes, but I don't
Okay.
know if I feel like I've mentioned it so
Okay.
many times that I've had to talk about it by now.
Okay.
I've
you
mentioned
probably
it
have.
countless times.
It's fucked, dude. Okay, anyway, the second
It's
show,
fucked.
when it didn't happen, it was a beautiful audience of some. Also felt good because there were a lot of people from high school who didn't really believe in me, but then they were there and then they were very supportive after. Very, very, very nice after. No, but there was this one really, really cool moment where I was talking about that song that I was talking about with you, Fairweather. And I was like, hey, this is like about this. And then there was someone in the audience. I was like, how is anyone feeling this way? And then there was this girl that was like, me.
That girl was
This
hyped
happened.
up.
Yeah, she was like ready to fucking
I
kill
wonder
whoever hurt
if
her.
she watches
Dude,
these.
she got hurt. She got so hurt. I hope so.
She probably does.
But
I think a lot of people at this show watch these.
But I gave her the microphone though, and then she told the whole like crowd the situation. I was like, wow, like I really connected with the crowd in this area of things. And also just in terms of like what I was wearing at that show, the songs that I did. That's my most favorite show I've ever done, dude. Like for sure, the Above the Bridge show.
Thank you, bro. It's a big
Was
compliment.
that the first day I met you, Lance?
That was the first day we ever met. Oh,
That
dude,
was
and then
insane.
remember we went over to
Dude.
Cameron's house, Jave's drummer.
Yeah,
and then
previous.
we did a very previous.
Shout out
That's
Cam.
so crazy.
Shout out Cam, he's so fucking cool. Have is also really, really cool.
Shout out all the
Shout out
Have
Have.
gang.
Shout out all of them. We did a strip back show, and then, dude, I think the first one of the first things I heard out of Monet's mouth is he was like, "It was so nice to meet you." And then later when I did the show, I was like, "Hey, Monet, like slide through," and then I performed, that song that I was talking about. Monet's like, "Bro, I almost cried hearing that shit." I was like, "That's insane." That I like make a
That
connection.
song is
with.
so good, bro.
Thank you, bro. It's one of my favorite songs. I really do hope I could put it out. Maybe not as Lance Redeker, maybe side project. I'm not sure, but that song means a lot to me.
Bro, it's a good one.
I'll
That was
probably put it on Holbrook.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that whoa. That kind of would make sense. Dude, that moment, that night we went to Cam's was so.
How did you feel at that?
That's something I've never talked about. I've never talked about in an interview. I think how do I put this? I was very distraught. Obviously.
Yeah, so to the audience, to the listeners, this is when Dante's thing got shut down. All the power went out when someone was on stage. So the backup plan was to go over to someone's house with way less people from the show and then perform.
Just for
in
the
a back-
homies.
Just for the homies in the backyard.
Shout out to Cam.
Yeah.
He had us over at his house, and we just did
that
a
was
strip back
very
show there.
chaotic. That was very fucking.
Very chaotic.
Well, yeah. Here you talk about. I'll talk about my experience that day too.
Yeah,
I'll talk about mine too.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get three perspectives.
This is a really good interview. This is really good. This is a really good fucking. This is very entertaining. If I were a listener, I'd be.
Thanks, bro.
I'd be into it.
Appreciate that. All right. Let me. This is a very interesting thing to talk about, but I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. I think that when it happened, it was the immediate emotion was confusion. So that was the immediate emotion.
I think that was everyone's.
And then it was like fear, because it was actually like a very dangerous situation that I felt responsible. Obviously I wasn't responsible for it, but I feel like I was in a lot of ways responsible for everybody being there. I mean, as were you and a lot of other people, all the performers, obviously.
I really felt bad for your friend Ian who came from out of state.
That was fucked up.
That's
but
really
yeah,
fucked up.
it was like the first emotion was like confusion, the second was fear, and the third was like disbelief. I remember like I was very, very, very much in shock, and I didn't really know how to take it. And like I felt like at first it was like I was like, no, this isn't happening. Like this is not happening. And then like it happened, and then as it kind of set in, I was just like, what the fuck happened? Everything that I did and tried and wanted was like just gone for that. And it was so like disheartening because it felt like I put so much into that, and it was like it was just brutal. But I think my mindset, like after as this is my mindset with most things like this that happen, I feel like I almost immediately was like, all right, what's next? Like that's kind of always my mindset is. I'm grateful for that, but I was like immediately I was like, what's next? And then we did the thing at Cam's, whatever, but I was never like, oh, fuck this, like, I'm done. Like, my immediate thought was, like, how am I going to get this to work again?
Yeah.
And we figured it out, but it was really, really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Even though it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Because it's your biggest fear. There's a, you're going to laugh at this, but there's a scene in Moneyball at the very end.
This fucking guy, dude. This fucking guy.
Where Peter Brand shows Billy Bean this video, and it's supposed to rationalize like what it is to have fear, and it's this video of this really overweight dude. He's playing baseball, and this guy, as Peter Brand explains, is afraid to run past first base. He's afraid to round first base because he's so afraid that he'll get thrown out in an embarrassing fashion. And there's this video, and he gets like a hanging slider, and he just smacks it, right? And he puts his head down and he runs. And Peter Brand, I know exactly. It's funny. I didn't know the quote. He's like, and here he's gonna do something that he's never done. He's gonna turn the corner and he's gonna round first base. And then the guy does it, and he eats shit. And he falls, and like it's super embarrassing. And like Peter Brand is like, this guy's exact fear coming to light. This is his exact fear becoming a reality in every way you could have imagined. It's the worst possible scenario. But what the guy didn't realize was that he hit a home run. Like the guy didn't realize the ball went 60 feet over the fence. And that was the biggest fear. But in reality, him even challenging that was the best thing that ever could happen to him.
Yeah,
it was the best case scenario.
And then you threw an amazing show, and I'm speaking as like an Above the Bridge supporter and fan and your friend. You threw the best show that I've ever done.
Thanks, bro.
With very supportive Bay Area people and a good crowd.
Yeah.
So how did that feel when the second time around, you know, you ran around and then you hit the home run on the second time?
Very gratifying.
Yeah.
It felt like it was supposed to happen, and you know, it's really easy to get back and be like, oh, I wish that was how the first one went. But it wasn't, and that's okay. But I also felt like as the smoke cleared and I began to, like, think about the whole experience, I felt like I related it to, like, when you're, like, I think when you're on to something, the universe has, like, a weird, funny way of, like, kicking you in the throat one more time, just to make sure you're really made for it. Make sure you really want it. Make sure you're really ready for it. And if you're not, you'll stop. But
then maybe it's not your thing.
Then maybe it's not for you.
It's not for you. Yeah.
But the universe knows that if you get kicked in the throat enough times and you get back up and you keep going, eventually it can't do anything. Like, eventually it'll stop. There's one of my favorite books. I feel like I reference this a lot too. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it takes the concept of failure and it humanizes it and calls it old man of failure. And there's he talks about how if you defeat old man failure enough times, eventually he'll grow tired and walk away. You only got to beat him a certain amount of times. Like, he can only come back at you so many times, you know?
In July of 2020, one of my best friends passed away unexpectedly.
Sorry.
No, it's okay now. But it was super, super tough, and it was like in the middle of COVID too. So me and a lot of friends, we came back to LA like after the first couple months. We're like, we're just gonna ride this out here because we didn't want to be stuck like inside. We already had signed leases for the next year while COVID happened. And we didn't get out of them.
Right when you were moving.
Yeah. So this is yeah. So like this kid moved us into our apartment. We had like 2 weeks where it was like me and him and my girlfriend and my roommates. There's like this like solid group because like you didn't want to go hang out with a lot of people. It's like a solid group of like 10 to 15 people that we were just like every day together. And then like 2 or 3 weeks into that, he died. And then it was like, oh, fuck, like, you can't even leave your house. You can't get a job. You can't go to the beach. You can't go to school. You got to sit inside. And it was like the culmination of sitting inside and like dealing with this loss as well as dealing with how fucked the world was for like so long. And like literally you couldn't do anything but like sit and just like fucking get fucked up with your friends. And like it ended up being like a super like transformative period of like going from, oh shit, like we're a kid, like we're all just like kids in college, like and then it just went like, oh shit, like one of us died, and it's like I gotta get older, like, and I gotta fucking grow up,
yeah.
change the way that I look at the world and everything. And it's very much, it's dedicated to Colin, but the album as a concept is like a personal growth journey through outside, like coming out of youth and coming of age and learning how to deal with trauma and, you know, like rising above and becoming a bigger and better person.
So it's almost like a coming of age story, like a growth type thing?
Yeah.
Was that, so when you started making these songs, was that the idea for them? Was it like, I want these to be on an album about growing up, or did you make them and that's kind of just what was coming out?
So the album got its name, All the Cool Kids Die, from the song that I wrote the week after he died. And the lyric is like, all the cool kids die because they don't have anything to lose. They ain't got nothing to lose. And so
wait, explain that.
So it's I wish I was as cool as you. I wish when I die I could be an angel too. I wish I wasn't a fool because all the cool kids die because they ain't got nothing to lose. And that was the beginning of the verse, and that lyric really stuck with me. Of all the cool kids die because they ain't got nothing to lose. And I was like, okay, I have this album that I knew from like the beginning. I want to dedicate a project to my friend, and it kind of started the first song I ever made on it was Piggy Bank, which was the week or two before he died, and then everything else after that was like I knew I wanted to have a project. I wanted to tell a story of what was happening in my life at the time, because at this time it's still the most transformative period of my life. I knew that I wanted to tell that story, but the story was told as it was happening. And it's just a lot of just hours of sitting and being in my head and experiencing things with my friends, and the culmination of everything that I went throughout that period is all kind of like hodgepodge to a series of personal anecdotes. And
this is some shit that like people from the Bay Area don't want me to say, but I'm gonna say it. The shit that Fizzler is putting on their Instagram page is not like what people are making in San Francisco.
Oh,
it just
people know now. Actually.
Isn't, bro. Yeah, people know. But if you
now.
really like talk to people like from the Bay Area, like that are making hip hop music, you would see the direction it's trending is not that direction at all. Like people like talk to people, talk to the guy who made this beanie, and he'll he will tell you about like what direction it's trending in, bro. But it's like, or
shout out Kenzo.
Yeah, shout out to Kenzo. Shout out Digi. Sponsored by Digi.
All of that shit. Shout out Grimrose.
Yep.
Shit.
But that bothers me a lot because people who make music like you, like more your sound, like Fabe, Ken, Dream Awake, Kid Lords, like all these people you could point to the Bay, like a lot of our little circle.
It's hidden,
and it is like the new sound that's like trending in the Bay Area.
Right.
But that's not like
they're trying so hard to keep it
down,
hidden.
Dude.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
So
that's the thing. They've done it for years, bro.
Yeah.
They've done it for years, bro. Like, we don't bring that shit. But it's like, bro, do we want to stay Bay Area box of music forever? I'm confused why we don't want to elevate as a state
community
region. You feel me? Like I'm confused why we don't want to elevate to the next level that the whole rest of the damn near country is on. Like, you feel me? That shit crazy.
And don't get me wrong, like no shade of anybody who makes like traditional Bay Area music. Like I love traditional Bay Area music. I grew up with like traditional Bay Area music like got me into hip hop. But that is not like an honest representation of like what the sound is right now.
Yeah, I mean, everything has its time.
You feel me? Like, exactly.
Everything has its time, bro. Like,
and that's had its time too
that
long.
got up off that shit. More power to you. Like, more power to SOB, RBE, F the Pharaoh, all of that. Like, y'all went crazy at y'all time. Like, and let's welcome a new sound. You feel me? And let's help it grow. Like, let's get some fucking. Like, let's get some Uzis from the Bay Area. Like, let's get some fucking, like, Dirks from the Bay Area. Like,
shout out to Dream Awake.
Facts, exactly. So, yeah, man, the Bay Area, we gonna go crazy, man. I don't know why they trying so hard to silence this shit. And there's a lot of, like, I can name artists out the ass, bro, that's, like, putting in work, bro, with this sound and, like, really needs some real light, bro. Like, man, if I got a lump sum of money, bro, I would open a label so fast, bro, and they would go so fucking crazy. Like, Jesus.
It feels weird even speaking on it as like a publication and a media company that like started in the Bay Area, but it's like I would love to like give you. That's one thing I try to do a lot. Like I try to like, you know, when I interview Bay Area artists, because I don't want this just to be a Bay Area shit. Like I love the Bay Area, but like of course to where I'm from. I'm trying to branch out, but like, you know, when I do Bay Area interviews, like it's so like if you do as many as I do, like it's so apparent. Like the sound is not like what they tell you it is, bro. And it's just when you have like this is gonna turn into me like getting everyone to hate me now, but it's bro, like
I be having this. I be like, bro. My last year I was like, I'm gonna tread lightly because I'll say some shit. But it's like the whole
there are certain labels and certain media companies that want you to think that like what the music coming out of the Bay Area right now is the same as it was when SOB came up, when Young T.O.'s voice was like what you heard at every party in the Bay Area, when like Neff was blowing up, like they want you to think like that is still what what kids are making.
Narrative? Like why do?
But it's just
why do you
want
to keep the narrative? Like, cool. Like them niggas got on off that shit. That shit
That's
was slapping
awesome,
when
man.
it came
It's fire,
out.
yeah,
sick, bro. Like. But why do you want to hide all the rest? So me and Kim was actually talking about this, bro. It's funny you said this.
Me and him talk about this all the time. Yeah.
Let me be careful because Thizzler is for like just Thizzler's just for the average body in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily care to listen to better music. It doesn't care to explore a better like.
Well, I don't know about better because I don't even think it's bad. I just think it's not honest. Like it's not an honest representation of like what is actually happening.
Facts. Different music.
Different. Yeah, there you go. Different.
So Thizzler's for like, you know, the average person that doesn't really care about like a different sound. You feel me? They're like,
which is fine.
They're satisfied. You feel me? It's cool. Like, you feel me? And Thizzler serves its purpose too. We need Thizzler. We need Thizzler actually, like, cause I can't really go fully into like what me and Ken talked about, but we need Thizzler.
But I feel like
because it serves a purpose though. Because
it's Thizzler, the logical opposite.
Thizzler can take all of the bullshit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can take all of that. Keep it. Just know that when our sound gets up and when we start getting light, like don't keep it over there. You feel me? Like all those artists that's like, you know, that's on that hype, like stay with Thizzler. You feel me? Because we, you know, like the new music shit is more of like a positive, fun vibe. You feel me?
For sure,
like,
yeah.
So it's like
it's better for people.
When we get a good platform that actually like is music oriented instead of like clout oriented and followers oriented and like diamonds oriented. Like once we get a real platform that's really like that's shouting out, giving love to this new area of music, then like it's gonna be important for Thizzler to still post all the bullshit.
You start out, you have an idea, right? And like as you definitely, I'm always been like a big picture person, so I'm always trying to like see how everything's gonna fit together, you know?
Yeah.
I'm actually not as good with the details, honestly. But so you definitely have an idea going in, like there's this, and it's not like always concrete or picture perfect, but you just have this image in your mind, whether it's a sonic image or like a visual image, and it's just there's this idea there, like you're kind of chasing that, right? And you're following it. But as you go through the process, that idea changes, you know what I mean? So it's definitely, and I think the more of that original spark that you can retain, the better. But it's naturally going to just sort of evolve over time. And so that North Star that you're following is going to kind of shift across the sky, like, you know, throughout the process. And so I think it definitely, it's something I realize too, is it's never going to be what you thought of originally. Like, that's like, what's his name? There's this author. I'm blanking right now. But anyways, there's this idea, right? And it's like that perfection is essentially Foster. Dude, that's going to kill me if I can't remember. God damn it.
What's he written?
Freaking Infinite Jest, and I can't think of his. Yeah, David Foster Wallace. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Mario.
Yeah, shout out.
Mario.
But so basically, wasn't what I had in my head.
Oh.
And I didn't.
So looking back at that, do you wish you didn't do that?
You know, I don't like to think that way because it's led me to where I am, and I'm like super stoked about what we're doing now. Of course, you know, so I don't know what the result would have been if we had finished it. So I'm totally at peace with the decisions we made. But yeah, if I think about it logically, it's like
I think there's a lesson in that. Yeah.
I had to learn it the hard way, you know what I mean? And it took me a long time to learn that, but now I understand that. And it's like, I don't have like that death grip on my ideas. Like, you got to kill your darlings, you know? It's like, you got to be able to get rid of your ideas and just like make peace with that. That's okay. It's like, just enjoy the process, you know? And I think if I had that mindset, things would have turned out differently. But yeah, we scrapped the whole project because it wasn't what I heard in my head, you know? And now I realize that's so silly because you got to be able to sacrifice, you know, what is in your head for what it is in reality, and that's just part of the process, you know.
That's such an interesting idea, like letting your ideas, because wow, that's so crazy to me, because it's like, you know, you can have an idea, right? It can be A, but it's like if it results in C, you kind of have to accept the fact that it's going to result in C. It's kind of what you said, like if you plant the seed, you got to be happy with whatever way it chooses to grow, whatever way it manifests.
And it's the same idea as like, you know, they say art is never finished, it's abandoned. It's a cliche, but it's very true. It's like you could infinitely work on something. Like if you were really in love with like the process of, you know, working in the studio and songwriting, it's like you're going to spend as much time as humanly possible because you enjoy that process, right? But then you could just be working on the same record for your entire life. And, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's totally cool. But like, then you're never going to grow as an artist and you're never going to like move forward, you know? And like, that's what really is important. Like being creative is about moving forward and changing. It's not about perfection. That's the whole thing. That's why perfection is the antithesis of creativity, because creativity is about change and about growth and new ideas and new things and letting things die, like being born and being reborn and like letting other things die. Like Bob Dylan has, like, that's one of my favorite Bob Dylan lyrics is, "He who is not busy being born is busy dying." And like that shit is just so true, bro, you know?
There's a feeling you get when you know, also going back to that like being a lightning rod for an idea thing, like there's a feeling you get when a great idea or something you feel like is a great idea passes through you. And, you know, especially when you get the chance to do that in a group of people where it's amplified by multiple people, like being in a band, it's so fucking undeniable. And I'm hiccuping off the yerb, but and you can like, you all just can kind of look at each other and like know it's like seeing like a fucking UFO or something. It's like, you know, and knowing that everyone next to you just saw a UFO too. Yeah. You don't, like, you know, no one's gonna be the one to be like, oh my god, that was a flying saucer. But you all can kind of just sit.
But
and,
you
like,
feel it,
because you all know what it is. And I think like chasing that feeling is, you know, it was the thesis statement as much as I could make it for like how I tried to approach being in that band. You know, like obviously it gets complicated when you're in groups of people and like there's personal dynamics, of course, and yada. And you know, like I wasn't always the best at that, but it's something that I still try to keep like central now. It's the thing that still kind of like remained a constant, and it's the thing that like doesn't let me down. Like if I get just that feeling from making a song, I know it's good.
It's like, I think it's important to choose your suffering. Like, and for example, think about like somebody who's really overweight, for example, you know, that's a really terrible kind of suffering. Working out is a totally different kind of suffering. Working out sucks. It's not fun, you know? Eating healthy isn't fun. It's a lot more easy to like, a lot more enjoyable rather. To,
yeah,
you know,
I want to eat a fucking pizza, motherfucker.
Pizza and cheeseburgers, you know, that's a lot more fun. But it's like, you kind of have to choose your suffering. You can even either suffer and hate your body, or you can suffer and be disciplined. Because discipline is suffering, but discipline's also freedom.
Yeah, it's liberation, right? Yeah. It's you're right, bro. Like suffering is everywhere. Pick your hell. That's my favorite thing. Like pick your fucking hell. Pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to live this life. Like you got one go around. Everybody gets one lifetime. You know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like I don't know if I'm a reincarnator or we gonna reincarnate, but like, hey, everybody gets one lifetime as far as we're concerned. So pick your fucking poison, bro. It's like discipline is probably the one thing that I feel like sets people apart. You could tell like somebody who got discipline, like they move differently, they act differently in social settings. Like they're not doing what everybody else. A lot of people don't have discipline. Why? Because discipline requires focus, and a lot of people in this day and age are not focused. We're not focused on the right things, or we're too scatterbrained, or we have overstimulation within our fucking body and our senses, so we're just constantly bombarded with emotions and chemicals that we don't know how to fight. You know, on top of that, I'm going to take these fucking drugs because it's going to make me feel better. Little do I know, I'm just adding more chemicals to the fucking mix. Yeah. It's not fixing shit. It's just making my brain more diluted, more fucked up, you know?
You know, it's weird. Do you think there's... Actually, I think about this a lot because I really feel like discipline is like, you know, if you gave me a choice and you were like, if you could master one thing in life, what would it be? I would say discipline, because discipline can be the discipline to not do something or the discipline to do something, and it's like both of those things can change your life, because it's quite literally, I don't think people realize that like the vast majority of their life is in their control. You know, I feel like a lot of the time people's lives are in their control. You get to choose and wake up what you do every morning.
Absolutely.
You get to choose what you wake up and you don't do every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you have the discipline to make those choices, make the correct choices, you can completely revitalize your life. And it's strange though, because where I was going with that is I do, one thing I question a lot is like, I don't know if there's a such thing as being too disciplined, because I, for example, there's times where like I work and I work and I work and I work, and if I'm not working, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like and I get down on myself. Do you think like there's a thing as being too disciplined, like a thing as being? I guess that's more balanced, but.
I would say, and Matt is a discipline. Obviously, everything needs balance, but you can have all the discipline you want in the fucking world, but it's like desire is the root of suffering, right? So your desire to be disciplined can cause you to suffer. You know what I'm saying? Like you start beating your fucking self up. You start like, damn it, I should be doing something. Fuck, I shouldn't go out on this fucking date tonight. I gotta motherfucking work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You know, and that can lead to your suffering, bro. Yeah. So like you said, you answered it yourself. You know, balance is everything, but at the same time, to build that skill of having discipline, it's like, bro, people don't want to build discipline because it's not instant gratification, bro. Yeah. To have discipline, it means I'm going to start fucking planting this fucking tree, and this shit probably not even going to grow till when I'm dead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, me as an individual, bro, I just want to be better than who I was yesterday, and I want to liberate myself from suffering, and I want to be able to show other people how I liberated myself from suffering, because there's this African parable that says you're not here to save anyone, you're here to save yourself and show others how you did it. So if I could save my fucking self, bro, from my pain, from my misery, from my depression, from my fucking suicidal thoughts or my fucking moments of anxiety and fear, if I could save myself from that shit, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna show other people like, hey, discipline, bro. Make good habits. You know, every day you wake up, you know, even if you don't want to get out of bed, get out of fucking bed. Get a fucking journal and write down 10 things you're fucking grateful for. Oh, I'm grateful for the clothes on my body. I'm grateful for the roof on my head. I'm grateful for the friends that I know. I'm grateful for this moment right here. I'm grateful to be able to cook breakfast. You know, I'm grateful for such and such. You know, count your fucking gratitudes. After you count your fucking gratitudes, work on your physical. I'm gonna hit 50 push-ups this morning. All right, cool. 50 push-ups out the way. If I don't do anything else productive for the rest of my day, at least I did 50 fucking push-ups. You feel me? I validated my fucking existence. You know, I did something that I told myself I could do. You know, I did that shit, you know? But it's like, we have to earn each day, bruh. Yeah. We're given each day. We just, you know, tomorrow's never guaranteed, but we gotta earn it, you know? And in order to earn it, you gotta grow, bruh. If you're not growing, if you're not evolving, then you're stagnant, bro. Everything else is growing. Trees grow every day. We don't see a sapling turn into a tree overnight, but when you're not looking, that shit is growing, bro. And one day you look at it and you're like, oh, that shit got kind of big. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even when nobody's looking, you gotta train. You gotta shred yourself. You gotta fucking do something to fucking make the suffering worth suffering, right? You gotta do something to make this pain you feel worth feeling, bro. Like, we can't let our pain be for no reason. You know?
Find your people who sound like you. First of all, find people who are adjacent to you. Find people who you like. Be fans of other people's music, because if you're just all about you and nobody else, you're not going to get anywhere, because you're just being selfish.
Yeah.
Secondly, find, not only after you make those friends, find like the scene of which all of them exist, and then find a way to integrate. Because honestly, we spent a good portion of, wow, that's a big difference. We spent a large portion of like our first few months gigging where we were doing whatever the fuck, because we didn't know anybody. We literally played at this bar on Easter Sunday, like for fucking nobody, because we wanted to. And we were like, fuck it, it's a show. And like, a few months later, we ended up finding Chemical Victim. Chemical Victim had openings on this like festival.
They have crazy shows.
Fucking insane. Yeah. And like, that was our first exposure to what ended up being all of our friends in the scene that we're in, because they had established something that was adjacent to us that we could fit in with. And then we made friends. And next thing you know, we played for Chemical Victim 6 or 7 times after
Sent,
that.
yeah.
Like just in the year of 2022.
Yeah.
Like because of like what we found, and we got really lucky. That was a really lucky thing, and like that is an unfortunate, you know, with anything that is like this is gonna happen. It's luck. It's just somebody saw you play one day, you met the right person the right day.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened with like going back to my whole thing about being able to talk. Like that happened to get us our San Jose and Fresno shows for this tour.
Oh, cool.
We all went to Oakland drunk as shit to see Jive Bomb.
Oh my god, yeah.
To see Jive Bomb, this hardcore band from Baltimore, at Stay Gold.
Cool.
Malachi from Scowl, the guitarist of Scowl, was running the door.
That's the coolest name I've ever heard.
Malachi?
Yeah, what the hell? That's so sick.
He was running the door, and I just started talking with him, and we ended up talking through the whole Jive Bomb set. I paid my money to see Jive Bomb, and I didn't see Jive Bomb because I was busy talking to him the whole time.
Though.
And after making that connection, he was able to get us the shows that we ended up playing on this tour.
Wow, that's so sick.
Like, meeting the right people at the right time and just knowing, like, and then I guess the last part too is just kind of like believing in the craft.
Yeah.
You kind of need the self-confidence to be like, yeah, no, we're a good fucking band.
I think it's an exercise too, and like you gotta do a bunch of shit that sucks. I think you gotta play a bunch of empty rooms. You gotta like go to a bunch of shows that you don't really want to go to. You gotta be a cool person. You gotta be like social and like talk to people and like make those connections. And it's like, I think the best way you can go about it is just being a friend. Just make friends.
Exactly. And like that stuff that like you were talking about like, yeah, so you're gonna play an empty room. Yeah, there's not gonna, some days there's just gonna be not a lot of people. You can say you can position us in a way where it's like, you could say we're a successful underground band, but like that shit still happens.
Of course, yeah.
And that's, you know, it's all about the attitude. It's like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna play. We're gonna have fucking fun. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do this again. How many more times? And just have the same mentality about it as much as we can. Just fucking rip our shit and have fun. Do what we can do to make sure we're enjoying ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's fun.
That's literally the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
And that's why like talking about like giving advice to people to be successful. It's like, yeah, I'll give you what I can, but like I don't want to tell anybody anything other than the most important part is having fun.
Yeah.
Because like at that point, what are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? If you're like, you can strive for the success. That's not a problem. It's not a problem to have dreams that you want to achieve. What like having that be more important over your own personal enjoyment is just not what it's about.
Yeah.
So I think, as much as I want to give a lot of kids advice and be like, hey, like, you could do this, and this to make sure you can get these shows and like find more people who can play with you or get you more shows.
Just have fun.
Just make sure you're fucking doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
Go for it. When I dropped out of college, I felt stupid, and not because I felt like I didn't have like I couldn't build something that meant something, or because I felt like I like lacked depth in conversation, or like I feel like I couldn't understand concepts that were taught to me, but because of this perceived idea that if I am not on this school track, I'm somehow like intellectually inferior to somebody who is.
Yeah.
And it's like that idea in itself is like anti-reasoning.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like getting, which is like ironic, but it's like, yeah, so it's like if I got a degree, I can lose any reasoning. It's like if you have this degree, you don't have to back up the things that you say because the degree does it for you. Yeah, exactly. Is how I felt. Yeah.
And like how intellectualism can be used as like a weapon against
totally
people. And like in a way that like makes other people feel really shitty about themselves.
I used to do that all the time.
Because they might not have the same circumstances as you, and like might not be as lucky as you, and like I don't know. It's just funny that like that the entirety of that song was just me trying to dumb myself down and like wanted to make something so brain dead, and that's like it's true. Nice. It's like just basically trying to get to the root of who I am, get all this jazz school like whatever fucking modal interchange like crazy theory stuff out of my head, and just go back to like, what do I like about music?
Yeah.
And what do I like about songwriting? And like, who am I kind of thing? And that was the first song I wrote.
Interesting.
And like, it's just totally just me trying to push away all that stuff and just get to who I am. And that's why I think that's where like I would subconsciously say it was coming from, just like anti overthinking things, anti-intellectualism, and just being who I am.
I kind of love the contrast to where you go from like in the beginning saying words that are I don't know if this is intentional. Like maybe I'm buying into this too much, but like in the beginning you begin with like very, very big, like complex words. Like you're saying like wearily I unweave, and then like cerebrum like a shoestring.
Yeah.
And then it's like by the end, like you're not really speaking in that like a super intellectual, like overly dialectic tongue,
that's
you know?
really cool. I can't believe you picked that up. That's actually crazy.
I love your music, bro.
Thank you. Dude. Like that's like the whole point. Like that's like I'm starting with a line that's like obviously I would say over complicated.
Incredibly, yeah.
And like it's so almost like funny how over complicated it is. Like, and that's the point. I'm unraveling my brain. That's the line. And then like, you know, I would rather die plugged in flashing standby, like mucking around, just like then it becomes me trying to like, you know, unravel like who I am and like trying to be stupid. Like I want to be stupid again. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But like I just.
But like, that's kind of sick. Like wanting to be stupid again. Like I know it's not what we were saying, but like.
Exactly.
I can relate to that. Like wanting to like have conversations sometimes that are surface level and like not or just, act like we're like hypothetically if I would you know what I mean? Like not everything has to be so deep.
And also like, you know, be like go back to your child like thoughts and like childhood, like that's where the good stuff is in my opinion. And like, you know, like fucking fart jokes are like the best jokes, and like stupid shit pee cum jokes are like still the best, will ever be the funniest shit. And it's just
for
like,
sure,
I don't know, like just over intellectualizing yourself, taking yourself like serious in a way that's like unpatronizing and annoying. I just despise that.
I agree.